the same thing. He want to fight the best they got out there. He's asking, can he fight the best? I believe his contract is coming to an end, so hopefully we can come together and I can take him to that next level and give him the fights that he want.
That I'm that guy. I don't think that I'm that guy who I've been my whole entire career. Sometimes it just take a little minute to adjust and adapt, and I'm adjusting and I'm adapting well. So July 12th is going to be a state.
Floyd Mayweather paid a visit to Shakur Stevenson's training camp before his clash with Teofimo Lopez. Mayweather praised Shakur as the best fighter in the division, vowed to pass on his wisdom to sharpen Stevenson's skills, elevate his game, and help him reach even greater heights worldwide acclaim.
The most skillful fighter at 135 will be hands down Shakur Stevens.
And what is it about him? Because I know he have a lot of good attributes, but do you think he has enough power to sustain?
Well, it's really all about skills. Pernell Whitaker wasn't a huge puncher, but he was, very exciting, very tough, and he fought everybody. And Shakur is trying to do the same thing. He want to fight the best they got out there. He's asking, can he fight the best? I believe his contract is coming to an end, so hopefully we can come together and I can take him to that next level and give him the fights that he want, and make the fight.
Shakur Stevenson is fully locked in at training camp, sharpening every part of his game ahead of the Teofimo Lopez showdown. He relentlessly works on speed, footwork, defense, and precise combinations while perfecting ring strategy. Each grueling session tests his limits, boosting reflexes, conditioning, and endurance, proving his discipline, focus, and determination to dominate on fight night.
Yeah, on my way. You just sleep yet? Da 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 da. And if you wake up, da da da. You know this thing.
Shakur Stevenson is driven to prove himself to anyone who still doubts his greatness. Despite all he has achieved, each fight is another opportunity to silence critics, win over fans, and firmly establish himself as an elite fighter among boxing's very best talents worldwide.
Honestly, I got a chip on my shoulder though. Like, I got something to prove. I feel like with this fight, a lot of people sleeping on me. A lot of people don't think that I'm that guy. They don't think that I'm that guy who I've been my whole entire career. Sometimes it just take a little minute to adjust and adapt, and I'm adjusting and I'm adapting well. So July 12th is going to be a...
On the Ariel Helwani show, Shakur Stevenson spoke confidently about his upcoming showdown with Teofimo Lopez, directly addressing critics along the way. Shakur said Lopez has never faced a fighter of his caliber and believes he will test him in ways he has never experienced. He also shared his view that Lopez would struggle against truly elite opponents like Terrence Crawford, suggesting Crawford's strength and skill would overwhelm him. While giving Lopez credit as a talented fighter, Shakur made it clear he does not see him on Crawford's level. Stevenson also discussed his promotional situation, explaining that although he once considered leaving Matchroom, Eddie Hearn's continued involvement has provided strong support and structure. The discussion highlighted Shakur's serious approach to both preparation and the business side of boxing.
I mean, that's their opinion. Like, they can say that. But I know he never fought nobody on my level. Like, I'm 1,000,000% sure that Teo has never seen nobody as good as me in his life.
He's talking about, like, once he gets through you, then he wants Crawford, names like that. How do you think he would do against someone like Terrence at this point?
I think he gets knocked out.
Can't even hang with him.
Yeah, he's too little. But it's too big for him.
Right. As far as skills, though, do you think he's on par with the likes of Terrence?
I'm not going to say he's on the Terrence Crawford level of skills, but he's very skillful. He got a lot of things with him that puts him at a high level.
One thing that was interesting to me was it seemed like you were going to move on from Matchroom, but now Eddie Hearn is involved in this, and this is a Matchroom event. It seems like, I know it's a ring card too, but he's promoting it here in the United States. So what is the state of your relationship with Eddie and Matchroom at this point?
Eddie's my guy. I'm actually not signed to Matchroom, but he's my guy. I'm a big fan of Eddie Hearn. None but respect to him, but I'm glad he's the promoter that's on this card. I'm glad to share the spotlight with his promotional company.
So if he's your guy, how come you're not signed to Matchroom?
I mean, it's just business. If it makes sense, then I will. If it come down to it and that's what makes sense, then we'll do it. But right now, I don't think it makes sense.
Okay, so are you just more of like your own man at this point? Your own entity?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Do you negotiate with the ring people, with Turkey? You just do that yourself?
No, me and my manager.
Analysts have taken a deep dive into this matchup, closely breaking down the strengths and weaknesses of both fighters. One of the most important factors identified is Teofimo Lopez's ongoing difficulty with movement. Although Lopez is explosive, highly athletic, and capable of overwhelming opponents with sudden power, he has often struggled against fighters who move smoothly, control distance, and force constant adjustments. That weakness becomes especially relevant against Shakur Stevenson, whose elite footwork, sharp timing, and patient approach are designed to frustrate aggressive fighters. Respected analyst and fighter Bruce Carrington has noted that Stevenson's ability to manage range, change angles, and repeatedly place Lopez in uncomfortable positions could significantly disrupt Lopez's offensive rhythm. Stevenson excels at drawing opponents forward, then punishing mistakes with clean, accurate counters. Lopez is most effective when he can impose his will and fight at his preferred pace. But Stevenson presents a stylistic challenge unlike many Lopez has faced before. That Stevenson's defensive awareness, combined with skill in measuring distance and varying tempo, limits Lopez's chances to land clean, powerful shots. The general analytical consensus suggests that raw explosiveness alone will not be enough for Lopez to succeed. To win, he must adjust tactically, remain patient, and choose his moments carefully. Without those adjustments, Stevenson is likely to control the pace, exploit openings, and neutralize Lopez's athletic advantages through superior technical skill.
Teo is going to bring the fight. He's very athletic. He has a lot of explosiveness, and but I do feel like when it comes to Shakur, bro, his movement may frustrate him. The only thing that worries me when it comes to Teofimo is his frustration. Like, is he going to be able to work well with a mover? We've seen, difficulties that he had with Sandor Martin. We've seen the difficulties that he had with Jimmy Ortiz, guys that's been moving around and not staying still. Like, if you keep Teo moving around and he can't plant his feet, what can he do? We're going to have to find that out on, January 31st. And I think Shakur, he's probably one of the best guys to, move his feet, be on defense, being hella patient and frustrating a fighter, bro. Like, so, I don't know. We've seen Teo get frustrated to the point where he's asking himself, do I still got it? You know what I'm saying? We got to see what his mentality is going to be like come January 31st.
Do you think that his experience on the biggest of stages, his two biggest wins, he was an underdog, and those guys, ironically enough, were southpaws like Shakur, that play any factor to you?
Nah, styles is different. The styles are totally different. Lomachenko don't fight like Shakur. Josh Taylor don't fight like Shakur. Like I don't see, just because it's southpaw, that same thing will happen. I feel like certain techniques could be used to fight Shakur, yeah. But in terms of like that approach of the fight, nah. Like Shakur fight's totally different. You gotta be able to do some out of pocket stuff with Shakur. You gotta throw while he's throwing. That's probably some of the only time.
Another school of thought suggests that Teofimo Lopez often delivers his strongest performances when matched against elite-level opposition. His overall ceiling tends to rise with the quality of his opponent, and a fight against Shakur Stevenson would demand his very best. Facing someone of Stevenson's caliber forces Lopez to rely not just on power, but on refined timing, sharp reflexes, and high-level ring intelligence. This contest goes beyond physicality and becomes a true examination of mental sharpness, adaptability, and decision-making under pressure. Analysts believe Lopez is capable of elevating his game in moments like this, but only if he shows strict discipline, controls his aggression, and avoids falling into predictable patterns that Stevenson is known to exploit. When Lopez becomes impatient or overly aggressive, openings appear, and against a technician like Stevenson, those mistakes can be costly. In that sense, The matchup represents a classic contrast between raw talent and tactical mastery. Another critical element is Shakur Stevenson's speed, which many observers describe as a form of power in itself. His punches arrive so quickly that opponents often struggle to react in time, making even light shots highly disruptive. Veteran analyst Andis has noted that fighters frequently fail to anticipate Stevenson's attacks, allowing him to land clean, precise punches that break rhythm and timing.
Teofimo Lopez needs opponents like Shakur Stevenson because they are elite fighters. He needs that to bring out the very best in him. I just can't see how it's possible that whilst Teofimo, we've seen a ceiling with him in terms of he's been beaten by certain opponents, we know that he can lose in the ring, but I don't know if that's a genuine ceiling, because I think that his ceiling is actually one of the most changeable in boxing based on who's in front of him. And so actually, I think there's a very, very good chance we're going to see the best possible version of Teofimo Lopez in the ring against Shakur Stevenson. But we should talk about Shakur Stevenson before we get into the nuts and bolts of the fight, what it might look like, and why it's so risky for both men. Now, Shakur Stevenson is currently undefeated. He's 24-0 with 11 KOs. He turned pro back in 2017. He's the same age as Teofimo Lopez at 28 years old, both men in their athletic primes. He's 5'8". These are on paper heights, so potentially a little bit shorter. He could even be a bit taller than Teofimo Lopez. I really need to see them next to each other to make that assessment. No lifts in the shoes, all that stuff. But around the same size is the most important thing. The difference, though, with Shakur Stevenson is he's actually a 3-weight division world champion, and he started a division lower than Teofimo Lopez, meaning naturally it would appear that he's slightly the smaller man. Although that doesn't necessarily mean they're now not the same size. He could easily have filled out to be roughly the same size as Teofimo Lopez is on the night in the ring. Now for me, I'm going to jump back to 2021 to first start talking about Shakur Stevenson, when he managed to get a win over Jamel Herring. Again, he'd had significant wins before this fight, but it was the first one where I really tuned into his career. Notable wins had already come against Joet Gonzalez, Jeremiah Nakathila, but no one that was really a household name. Maybe Joet Gonzalez. No giant names. Jamel Herring was the first one where I was like, I know who Jamel Herring is. He beat Carl Frampton. He beat Lamont Roach. This is a very, very decent operator. And what can I say? I mean, Shakur Stevenson just absolutely dominated him and TKO'd him in the 10th round of their fight. But this was a really, really landmark, standout performance from Shakur Stevenson. The talent was there for all to see. Everybody could tell this was a...
Bocini's has issued a strong warning to Teofimo Lopez, emphasizing that Shakur Stevenson is a fighter who should never be underestimated. According to Bocini's, Stevenson's speed is more than simple quickness. It is a weapon that creates constant danger. Many opponents never see his punches coming, giving him a major advantage in timing and accuracy. Even shots that appear light or insignificant can cause real damage because they land cleanly and without warning. He further stresses that overlooking Stevenson's blend of speed, skill, and ring intelligence could prove costly for Lopez.
Pick him apart. Pick him apart. And I gotta tell everybody that Whichcomb is real athletic too. Teofimo. So I mean, I don't think it's gonna be an easy fight. You know what I mean? People think, a lot of people say it's gonna be easy and all that. Teofimo can punch, and he can box. And like I said, he's real athletic. So that'll make it a little difficult right there.
I see a lot of people going back and forth with it. Some people think Teo got the advantage because of the weight and that he's athletic and explosive. Some people say Shakur is the better boxer.
Yes.
Right? How you see that fight ending?
What they saying, they got the weight and all that. I see Shakur boxing big guys, like heavyweights and all that stuff. It's like, big box heavyweights and put heavyweights down. You know what I mean? I think that's the right move for him. You know what I mean? Get up and I think he can really do good at that weight.
Decision to stop.
I'm looking at a decision, not a stoppage. But then all the going how Teo come in. Teo come at him. He's gonna run some shots. It might be over. You know what I mean?
Now, you always tell me it's the shot that you don't see coming. That's that power is speed, right? So, could it be a situation where people underestimate Shakur's punching power?
Yeah. I think Shakur can punch. You know what I mean? I think he can punch. It's just like I said, speed is power. It's not them guys that muscle bound guys come in, or he can punch and all that. Like I just got for the saying, like you just got for the saying, matter of fact. Punch that you don't see. And they always say, man, I didn't see that punch coming. That's the one you wonder about. I mean, then you
gotta look at this.
Shakur Stevenson's sense of accountability in the ring sets him apart from many of his peers. He approaches every training session and fight with strict discipline, fully aware that each decision, movement, and adjustment can affect the outcome. Stevenson takes complete responsibility for his performance, preparing meticulously both physically and mentally to execute his game plan under pressure. This self-awareness drives him to constantly refine his skills, correct errors, and adapt to challenges during a fight. His dedication to accountability strengthens his technique and builds confidence, making him strategically sharp, consistently prepared, and capable of performing at the highest level against any opponent. Despite Stevenson's clear technical edge, analysts warn that Teofimo Lopez should not be underestimated.
Rise to the occasion and be prepared for that fight. So I feel like Shakur has to keep that fight in the middle of the ring, use his counter ability. But if Teo's speed is a problem, I think Shakur is going to run into a lot of problems. But if Shakur is the faster fighter with the good reflexes to counter, he'll be fine, I think. But you know, Teo says a lot of crazy things that, you know, a lot of us don't agree with. But at the end of the day, the dude can fight. His last performance, he showed him that there's levels to this, right? Lopez is on a whole different, I'll say, category when it comes to boxing that Shakur's at. I think this is a great fight. I'm gonna go ahead and give my prediction. If these two fight, it's gonna be kind of like a Floyd versus Zab Judah-ish, or I'm gonna say Zab Judah. I know Zab Judah's a different fighter than Lopez, but I think what's gonna happen is gonna become a chess match. Who could counter who? Lopez, I think, will get hit early and start respecting Shakur's power. I think Shakur will keep everything to the middle of the ring and be able to adjust with his movements, his counter ability, and his defense. Like, he's able to make those adjustments that are very similar to Floyd. So I'm gonna go with Shakur on this one, but you cannot sleep on Lopez because he comes to fight. The fight that he shocked me was against Lomachenko. He came ready for war, and I think Shakur, he's starting to, you know, get fights that are kind of setting him up for these mega fights, and he'll be.
Timothy Bradley emphasizes that Teofimo Lopez is an unpredictable and confident fighter. While he may encounter difficulties against a disciplined, technically gifted opponent like Shakur Stevenson, Lopez's willingness to take risks and exploit openings makes him a constant threat. His natural power, combined with his self-assurance, means that even a single lapse in Stevenson's defense could quickly swing momentum in Lopez's favor. This unpredictability ensures that the fight remains high stakes, despite Stevenson's clear advantage in skill and ring intelligence. That Lopez's mental state and past challenges also play a critical role in assessing the matchup. He has previously experienced periods of distraction and lapses in motivation, sometimes contemplating stepping away from boxing altogether. Personal issues and external pressures have occasionally affected his focus, contributing to inconsistent performances. However, recent reports indicate that Lopez has rekindled his passion for the sport, returning to boxing with renewed dedication.
Fight for Shakur Stevenson. Nope, it ain't gonna be an easy fight. Nope. After studying freaking Lopez yesterday, man, look, that athleticism that he got, that speed that he got, the boy is a what's the name I'm looking for? How can I say? He's autonomous. That's the word I'm looking for. He's an autonomous fighter. Okay? What does that mean, autonomous fighter, Tim? Shakur is too. Just like Floyd is. Just like Crawford is. Just like Inoue is. You know, young fighters want to get to that point in their career where they become autonomous fighters. Okay? Where you don't need no damn instructions. You don't need no guidance. You know how to figure it out. Your fundamentals are so damn sound That shoot, you got skills now built on top of those fundamentals. Now it's second nature for you. You know what I'm saying? You didn't see the same patterns and rhythms and styles and so on and so forth. That it's second nature. It's nothing for you. These guys can operate without any damn instructions, without being told what to do. That's how great these dudes are. Or I should say good they are. They still got to prove they great, right? But, you know, look, the thing that surprised me about T.O. last night after watching him, man, is that his speed and quickness and how fast he's able to strike. Look, I'm going to tell you where he's going. I'm going to tell you where he's going. Because I watched a little bit of Shakur last night.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned next